There's a lot to digest and a lot of voices to be heard. Stick to the frequency that amplifies those voices, stories and reports that make the difference. This is Akojopo News, 88.7 FM, the people's voice.
This is Kunle Amzat Studio, Akojopo 88.7 FM. Welcome to News Around the World.
Good evening. Welcome to the news around the world on the most listened to radio station, Akojopo 88.7 FM, Ibadan. I am Olamide Badmos. First, the headlines. Tinubu directs Nigerian missions in South Africa to establish crisis units. Oyo equips health workers to tackle female genital mutilation. Millions across England, Scotland, Wales to vote in key elections. United States, Iran explores short-term deal to end fighting. NSC chairman to present NNL Super 4 trophy to winners on Friday. Now the details. President Bola Tinubu has directed Nigerian missions in South Africa to immediately establish a crisis notifications unit for endangered citizens, as the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mrs. Bianca Odumegu Ojukwu, warned that the ongoing anti-foreigner campaign in the country may be more accurately described as Afrophobia than xenophobia. The minister, in a statement today, said that the directives followed a phone conversation between her and her South African counterpart, Ronald Lamola, amid worsening tensions in the Southern African nation. Mrs. Odumegu Ojukwu said Lamola expressed concern and misgivings over Nigerians' evacuation plans during the call, but she held firm, insisting that the Nigerian government could not stand by while its nationals were being harassed, humiliated, and killed extrajudicially. According to the minister, she also pressed Lamola to ensure that South Africa's police and justice systems treated cases of extrajudicial killings of Nigerians with greater seriousness, demanding clear and immediate consequences for perpetrators, and further urged Nigerians in danger to contact South African security authorities whenever dangerous situations arise. From items and transportation to fuel and house rent, many families now struggle to meet their daily needs as incomes remain largely unchanged. Economic analysts have warned that if urgent steps are not taken to stabilize prices and improve the economy, the financial burden on citizens may become worse. Many Nigerians are now calling on the government to introduce measures that will ease the hardship and improve the standard of living of the people. Akojopo FM news correspondent Mariam Imran reports on the fluctuations of prices of essential commodities. Olajumoke Oladunjoye brings the reports.
The cost of basic needs such as food, transport, fuel, and rent is fluctuating, while most people's income has remained the same. Small businesses are also affected because goods are more expensive to buy and customers are spending less, which reduces profit. The fluctuating prices have increased financial pressure, reducing quality of life, and making survival more difficult for many households. Economic experts have predicted that if the current situation is not properly controlled, it may continue to affect the economy and the well-being of citizens. In an interview with foodstuff seller, Mrs. Rachel gave her own opinion on how the rising prices of things are affecting them every day.
When we buy and sell, the price would have increased before we go back to the market. The government can help us to control the price. The last increase was attributed to the increase in pump price.
A well-meaning Nigerian, Mrs. Abiodun, gave her own view and also urged the government to have mercy on them.
The increase in price is affecting traders because when we buy and sell, the price would have increased before we go back to the market. The government can help us to control the price. The last increase was attributed to the increase in palm price. If the price is stable, we will be able to sell our goods at a good price.
In another interview with Agidigbo FM, a resident of Ibadan also shared his own thoughts on how fluctuating prices is affecting the common people.
I think things are not moving fine. Things are not going as we really want. Everyone is really crying. Everyone is shouting. Market is not going as we want. Everything is, in fact, the market price has really gone up due to the fuel hike and stuff like that. People are not just content with the way the market is going these days. Everything has gone in flames. Everything has gone up. So things are not being bought the way we normally buy it. So people are not just happy, in fact.
The expensive price has reduced sales and how we buy goods. We urge the government to prefer solutions to the situation on ground. If the price of petrol can come down, it won't affect other things. It has also affected people that don't make enough money daily.
Overall, the continuous increase in prices is a serious challenge that affects both individuals and businesses. If the current economic realities is not properly addressed, it will continue to place more financial pressure on citizens across the country. Olajumoke Oladunjoye, Agidigbo FM News.
The Oyo State Primary Health Care Board, in collaboration with the United Nations Population Fund, through the Center for Comprehensive Promotion of Reproductive Health, has organized a one-day capacity building training to strengthen advocacy for the abandonment of females' genital mutilation across the state. According to a statement released today by the Ministry of Information and was made available to journalists in Ibadan, the training was held in Oyo Town, which brought together medical officers of health, health educators, and monitoring and evaluation offices from all 33 local government areas of the state. Speaking at the event, the Executive Secretary of the Oyo State Primary Healthcare Board, Dr. Muideen Olatunji, represented by the Director of Special Duties, Dr. Abiodun Akim Akande, said the training formed part of ongoing efforts to eliminate harmful tradition practices and promote the health and rights of women and girls. Dr. Olatunji further described FGM as a harmful and outdated practice that must be eradicated through sustained advocacy, community engagement, and strengthened healthcare systems. In bustling local markets across the nation, buying and credit remains a lifeline woven into daily trade. For many buyers, it bridges the gap between urgent needs and delayed income, keeping households fed and businesses stocked even when cash is tight. However, while this solves numerous home needs, it shifts the financial risks to the seller, who must carefully manage their own liquidity while facing the possibility of delayed payment or default. In this report, Agidigbo FM News correspondent Rodiat Amzat examined how transaction and credit sustains commerce, the risk of mounting debt, and its impact effects on traders. Here is the report.
In Nigeria, buying goods and products on credit travels with the history of the country. For years, traders kept small notebooks, writing down names and goods and prices, allowing familiar faces to take items and pay later. The buy now, pay later was a system built on trust, one that helped many families survive through times and kept customers coming back. With the current realities, many traders say trust is costing them their business, as debts are pulling up and some customers are no longer keeping to their word. At major markets in Ibadan, the mention of credit now comes with frustration. Traders say it is no longer as simple as it used to be. Some explain they will still give goods on credit, but only to loyal customers, neighbors, or those with a history of paying back.
Regular customers would come when things were not going well for them, and we would allow them to take goods, but many of them don't pay back. It has really affected me. After selling on credit, when I sit down to calculate, I realize my capital is gone and there is no profit.
Others share painful experience where goods were taken and never paid for, Customers will stop picking calls and the struggle to recover money.
They will buy bigger goods and disappear with the money. That is why we stop selling on credit.
For many, it has affected how they run their business and how they trust. Some traders have stopped giving goods on credit completely, while others have introduced strict conditions for small and medium-scale business owners. It is no longer just about helping customers, it is about staying in business. Rodiat Hamzat, Agidigbo FM News.
Now it is time to link up with our United Kingdom studio for the foreign news.
News from Kulamza Studio, Agidigbo FM, United Kingdom. I am Iroyin Pelu. Many people has voted across England, Scotland and Wales in the largest set of polls today. Voters in Scotland and Wales decided who should run their national parliaments. The election, which started 7 a.m. this morning, will end at 10 p.m. tonight, while the result is expected to follow on Friday and over the weekend. The polls will be the biggest test of public opinion since Labour won the general election in 2024. All adult age 18 and over can vote in the election if they are British, Irish, or qualifying foreign nationals. All the voters in the local election in England presented their valid photo ID, such as a passport or driving license, but there is no such requirement in Scotland and Wales. Singapore's education minister has confirmed that teachers will be allowed to use cane to discipline unruly students in certain cases. Desmond Lee, the education minister, told the parliament on Tuesday that school must follow strict protocols to ensure safety for students, while caning must be approved by the principal and administered only by authorized teachers, with the new framework to be rolled out across Singaporean schools from 2027. Although World Health Organization estimated that between a quarter and half of children around the world experience corporal punishment in schools and call for an end to the practice. And that ends the news from Kulamza Studio at Gidigbo FM, United Kingdom. I am Iroyin Pelu.
Welcome back. We shall also be moving to our Maryland studio, United States, for more foreign news.
News from Kule Amzat Studio, Agidigbo FM, United States. I am Oluwatosin Soya. African countries, including Kenya, Malawi, Lesotho, and Zimbabwe, have urged their citizens in South Africa to stay indoors and exercise caution amid attacks targeting foreigners, while Ghana has appealed to the African Union for intervention. South Africa has experienced a surge in protest against illegal immigration, some of which have turned violent and targeted migrants from other sub-Saharan African nations. Migrant rights groups say foreigners are being scapegoated for the country's economic hardship. Ghana said it had helped secure the safe return of one of its citizens who appeared to be attacked in a viral video, while Nigeria said it was repatriating at least 130 citizens following the death of 2 Nigerians. The other countries issued similar warnings to their nationals. Xenophobic violence have periodically erupted in South Africa over the years, with the vigilante group Operation Dudula leading campaigns against undocumented migrants, including efforts to block them from accessing public health facilities. The United States and Iran are moving closer to a limited and temporary agreement to halt their war, sources and officials said on Thursday, with discussions focused on a draft framework that would end the fighting while leaving the most sensitive dispute unresolved. The proposed arrangement would take the form of a short-term memorandum rather than a full peace accord, highlighting the deep divisions that remains between Washington and Tehran. Both sides have lowered expectations for a broad settlement as disagreements continued over Iran's nuclear program, including the future of its highly enriched uranium stockpiles and the duration of any suspension of nuclear activities. According to sources and officials, the framework will be implemented in 3 phases, formally ending the war, addressing tensions surrounding the Strait of Hormuz, and opening a 30-day period for negotiations aimed at reaching a broader agreement. And that ends the news from Kulamza Studio at Gidigbo FM, United States. I am Oluwatosin Soya.
Welcome back once again, now in the exciting world of sports. The chairman of the National Sports Commission, NSC, Malam Shehu Diko, will present the trophy to the winners of the 2026 Nigeria National League NNL Super 4 on Friday at the Remo Star Stadium, Ikenne, Ogun State. The grand finale of the competition is expected to deliver both football excitement and top-class entertainment as popular music star Portable and others are billed to perform live during the closing ceremony. On the pitch, Sporting Lagos have emerged as a team to beat after winning their opening two matches, but Friday's final matchday fixtures are expected to determine the overall winners of the 2026 NNL Super 4 title. Beyond the football action, fans are also set for an unforgettable experience off the pitch as two lucky supporters will each win 500 naira in a live raffle draw to be conducted by Portable during the closing ceremony. In addition, the first 200 fans to enter the stadium on finals day will receive 5,000 naira each as part of the celebration activities lined up for the event. Meanwhile, organizers have assured supporters of an entertaining and memorable finale as the curtain falls on this year's NNL Super 4 competition. To wrap up the news this evening, here is a recap of the headlines. Tinubu directs Nigerian missions in South Africa to establish crisis units. Oyo equips health workers to tackle female genital mutilation. Millions across England, Scotland, and Wales to vote in key elections. United States, Iran explore short-term deal to end fighting. NSA Chairman Shehu Diko to present NNL Super 4 trophy to winners on Friday. And before we go this evening, here's a quick tip. Do the best you can until you know better. Then when you know better, do better. Finally, we have come to the end of the news around the world on the most listened to radio station, Agidigbo, 88.7 FM, Ibadan. I am Olamide Badmos. Thank you for listening. Good evening.
News is information, and information is power. At Agidigbo 88.7 FM, we bring the news from top to bottom.
The Oyo State Independent Electoral Commission, OISEC, has called for continuous collaboration.
We bring you reports from Oyo State.
The Oyo State House of Assembly has called for thorough investigation.
Southwest Nigeria and the rest of the world.
Has clarified that the body did not receive any cash support from international development.
Trust us to keep you informed every hour, every day.
Agidigbo 88.7 FM, the people's voice.